In a reverse repo, the Fed's desk sells a treasury security to a party, banks, government-sponsored enterprises, GSEs, and money market funds, under an agreement to repurchase at a later date and/or time with interest. The Fed's counterparties have needed an increasing amount of liquidity since June 17, 2024, where we have seen an activity spike. 75 counterparties reported $531.692 billion in reverse repo activity yesterday, one single day. Today, however, 93 counterparties reported $664.570 billion in reverse repo activity, which is an increase of $132.878 billion in one day. Looking further, an increase of $331.141 billion in the last 8 sessions the Fed held operations. Now, do you guys think this correlates over to GameStop as well as AMC? We also have another theory about Roaring Kitty's dog post. My tinfoil hat theory was a dog looking the other way now is an indication that the Kansas City shuffle has really played out, looking left when everyone else is looking right. Another indication is the fact that the emojis were originally in black and white, but the dog DFV has posted yesterday was in color. Now, in Wizard of Oz 1939, the part in Kansas is shot in black and white, but when in Oz, it becomes colorized. So my theory is that this is all an indication that the Kansas City shuffle has been completed and has worked out, looking the other way, i.e. we're not in Kansas anymore. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I want to jump into AMC as well as GameStop and cover everything before the week starts, so make sure to like the video, push this out to more apes and AMC and GameStop shareholders like yourselves, and subscribe to the channel. AMC is trading at $4.98, had a beautiful day on Friday, had a beautiful day on Thursday, Wednesday, and basically Tuesday was flat, but we are seeing a full green week last week, which is exactly what we anticipated. A very bottom on AMC, and then we're going to follow this scale up pattern, maybe at a faster rate, maybe at a faster speed. Everything is looking beautiful for AMC to squeeze past at minimum $17.50, if not exploding higher, breaking all-time highs, so on and so forth. Now, if we take a look at the monthly time frame, because now is the time to do it because the month of June is over, we can see that AMC is below the midline of the Bollinger Bands. The RSI is extremely cool, down by the 38, meaning we have substantial moves to go. What else do we see? We see a slightly red candle for the month of June with way less volume. We saw 2.4 billion in the previous month. Now we're only seeing 900 million, meaning sellers aren't actually selling. This slight red candle you see is actually bullish for the month of July, for the month of August, right? Assuming volume is going to pick up and push us higher. Very similar to the recent rallies you had, an increase in volume on the way up, decrease on the way down, decrease before exploding higher, meaning theoretically, even if volume exhausted for July and August, you would see a squeeze September. GameStop as well, I want to touch on a couple of things here. We know exactly what we're tracking. GameStop is looking beautiful. We assume we're going to trickle down to this level around $23.50. If you haven't been watching the channel, make sure to watch the videos day in and day out. But I wanted to point out one thing, and it's the Bollinger Bands. The Bollinger Bands are becoming extremely tightened right here. They are contracting, and every single time they are contracting, you're waiting for a big move one way or the other. GameStop is also playing out basically the same setup it likes to play out before rallying higher. You saw the same setup back here before this move up. You're seeing the same setup again before the move up, and we are expecting that move up back to at least 55 bucks. So just want to put that out there, contracting on the Bollinger Bands on the 4-hour, waiting for them to expand with a larger move, and I think AMC and GameStop have a good shot at getting that move this week ahead. Before we touch on the overall market, I want to touch on the monthly candle again for GameStop. One thing I don't like is you had an increase in volume on this sell-off. So we saw an increase in volume right here on this rally up, but then you saw even more volume on the way down, which is not something that we want to see for GameStop. However, given where we're tracking, this is the same sort of setup that you saw back here. Seeing if we push back up to $55, which is around the time frame we're tracking, you saw sell volume surpass buy volume, but we still rallied up, so it's a beautiful thing to see. I'm not too worried about this, especially seeing how low the RSI is, cooling down on the month as well, just like AMC. Now, AMC saw 9,831,233 shares on the buy side in order imbalance, which is one that I have not seen yet before, and maybe I'm reading this wrong, but what I'm seeing here is that there was a massive absolute effing buy order on AMC. And also end of day Friday, we saw a random volume spike, huge order imbalance. Somebody knows something is coming, or they are covering FTDs, or they are just starting to. And overall, everything prepped for the rally that I've been calling out is about to come to fruition. I want to touch on a couple of things. Schwab to assume all open contracts for TD Ameritrade clearing as of July 17th. Very odd. We're seeing a lot of moves shift around in the banks, and banks reported $4 trillion in credit derivatives in the first quarter of 2024, which include credit options, total return swaps, and credit default swaps, aka credit protection against a default. A whopping $1 trillion of the credit derivatives reported in the first quarter of 2024 are sub-investment grade. These high-yield bonds carry lower credit ratings from the leading credit agencies. High-yield bonds are also known as junk bonds, have higher interest rates, generate more income for the bondholders who demand more for taking on the risk associated with purchasing these bonds. Junk bonds are more likely to default and have higher price volatility. No matter how they paint the picture that banks are doing well and are in a safe spot, they are actually the complete opposite. I want to show you the market before we start the week, and pay attention to this because we entered puts in Discord, made a little bit of profit, and then we entered and held for the night, got some more puts for this week, and this is exactly what I see happening with the S&P 500. We tested the top again, but we got pushed down hard. Now, what this is telling me is every time we test the top and get pushed down hard, bears are in way too hard of a control here. We basically just got punched on the charts, testing that all-time high once again, coming back down, basing on the 1618 on the fib, but I don't think we're going to hold this coming into the week. Reason being, previously when the SPY did this, right, tested the top, came up for a new high, got absolutely punched in the face. You decrease 2.15% at minimum from this, right? You can see a little bit of a tail down here going a little bit further, but same thing back here. You tested this top and got punched. You decreased 2.15%, and of course you sold off even further after this, but that is just because we couldn't hold, okay? So take a look. You're going to come down, in my opinion, on the SPY to 538 this week. Okay, we're coming down to 538. If we can't hold 538, you're coming down to at least 524.65. Okay, watch those levels. 538, 524.65, but watch for a hold at 538 because I think we actually do get a bounce at 538 before moving higher. Tesla, like we said, I didn't enter, but we did close above the level we wanted to close at. I said a level above 197.20 close, and we got basically just above that and closed. I actually am bullish on Tesla, but there is still this danger zone up here in which Tesla actually flushed down to before, right? You'd more so want to see a gap up of strength up to 206 and close above 210 with the same candle, right? You want to see a gap up to 206 and then a large candle with the top closing above 210. But I am bullish on Tesla as of right now. Nvidia, this is something I see happening with Nvidia. Just take a look at the chart, screenshot this if you want. It's coming down to 211 in my opinion. Just keep an eye on this, especially with the market moving down. Lastly, Bitcoin, SEC sues Consensus alleging MetaMask is an unregistered securities broker. Jumping into Bitcoin's chart, again, the monthly time frame, there is a bullish signal here, but remember, Bitcoin is looking weak lately. However, if you look at the RSI on the monthly, we haven't gotten the largest move yet according to the RSI, right? The largest moves that you saw were extremely overbought on the RSI. You saw back here, you saw back here, and you saw back here, meaning that Bitcoin is now in July, August, September about to potentially get its largest move, bouncing off of the 60 on the RSI and potentially bringing Bitcoin above 80,000, 90,000 to cap out, right? This looks bullish, but this isn't everything. We're testing the top of the Bollinger Bands. We look like we're playing out the same previous cycle, and there are many things that indicate a push to the downside, seeing an increase in volume on this push down. We talked about the weekly wicks keeping us in this channel, but if you take a look at this week, right, this week we got pushed down and we're trading more so in the bottom of the range instead of actually in the channel, and you saw an increase in volume from last week, meaning sellers are just tacking on here, making it at least from a technical perspective look like we're going to break structural support at 58, 57 and bring us right down to 54, if not 52, right? So just watch that on Bitcoin. Overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. Make sure to enjoy the rest of your weekend. If you're not in the Discord, come talk with me. Come talk with the most amazing people. Level yourself up. It's a coffee a month. We have options trading alerts in there, and I post my trades as soon as I take them. Overall, best vibes. Whether you're a beginner or advanced trader, this is the place to go. It's the third link under the video. The second link under the video, you can do it while the weekend is here, while the market's closed. It takes 2 minutes. Open an account through Moomoo, and once you deposit through my link, you're getting up to 15 free stocks and earning 8.1% APY on your uninvested cash. They're also giving you level 2 order book data for free, access to trading options, going long, going short, viewing other exchanges, and more, all for free. So go do that, guys. Again, it's the second link. Open an account and make a deposit. Lastly, add my custom indicator to your TradingView charts if you guys haven't yet. It is pattern detection and forecasting. Go level yourself up. I love you all. Lottery Socks out.